session from Andrew and Steve there. We are now going to transition to some local customers because I know we at Oracle like to talk about what we're doing because we're very excited about what we're doing. But we want to make sure that you hear it directly from the customers themselves. Now, for those of you that came through Dubai Airport on your way here this week, you might have seen this lovely picture here. This is the beginning of our new marketing campaign around you, our customers, telling your stories. This is Certified Origins, an Italian olive oil company who use our blockchain as a service capability to be able to authentically track every element of the supply chain when delivering their olive oil. So right now I'm going to introduce you to 3 local customers. I myself have just moved to Dubai, so I can now call it home. And a couple of them are based here in Dubai, and one from Saudi. And we're going to have a chat about the business challenges they're facing. I have a CIO, a CFO, and a Vice Dean of IT services for one of Saudi's oldest universities. We're going to be talking about the challenges they're facing, how they're using our technology to address them, and perhaps they'll have some advice for all of you if you're going through your own digital transformations. So with that, let me please welcome my panel to the stage. Gentlemen, come on up. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Wonderful. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So we very much appreciate you being here. We're most honored to have the time. And I know everyone in our audience is going to be very interested to hear a little bit about your businesses and the kinds of challenges you're facing, as well as maybe a touch on the roles that you all have. So, Amer, would you like to kick us off from Access Power?
Yeah, sure. So I'm working as a CFO. I've been working with Access Power for the past 3.5 years. And Access Power is basically operating in more than 23 countries with more than $1 billion of assets under development, assets.
How many customers in development?
More than $1 billion of assets,
wow, $1 billion.
Power assets under development in Central Asia and Africa. And we are growing rapidly. We have a very small team with very big ambitions, with very big goals and plans. So, and Oracle is helping us achieve those.
Fantastic. So you've been going for about 6 years, so you're a startup based here in Dubai.
Yes.
And as I understand it, almost 1 billion people in Africa are without power. Is that right?
That's true. That's
amazing.
True.
So you're helping to develop the renewable energies that will address that.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, we're going to hear a bit more about what you're doing there as CFO. I'm looking forward to those stories. Sebastian, would you like to tell us a bit about AW Rostamani? I'm sure everybody here is familiar with them, but
definitely, Amanda. AW Rostamani Group is a family-based conglomerate. We are predominantly in Dubai and Northern Emirates, and we have businesses in India and UK as well. Our portfolios include automotive, retail, real estate, and a bit of manufacturing and transportation and logistics. Pretty diverse group of portfolios. And we have been running Oracle for quite a long time. We started our journey in 2006.
Wow.
With ERP, and finally we ended up in IoT cloud. So
Fantastic.
We'll talk about that story later. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sebastian. Sebastian was also running a user group for us here at Oracle for a while. I think you're quite well known locally.
Yeah, that was my voluntary job. We have a very strong user group in this region, which is called Middle East Oracle User Group. So I've been heading it for the last 4 years, and recently I'm retired. Now I have one of my fellow from Bahrain heading that user group. The user group has almost 1,500 organizational members, and we do 3 types of events in a year. We have an annual conference, which usually happens in March. This time it will be April. Then we have special interest groups. We probably it will be a group of 10 to 15 members, and we specifically talk about a subject, whether it is cloud adoption or maybe AI or whatever it is. So we have around 9 different such special interest groups. And then we also allow customers to go and see the other customers. So in case if you have a challenge, they can talk to, among each other and solve the problem.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. That's great. And Dr. Atif, please tell us a little bit about Ankara University, and your role there.
Certainly. I'm the Vice Dean of IT for e-services, which means that I'm responsible for all applications and softwares in the university. Ankara University is one of the biggest universities in the region. We are located in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. We have campuses in more than 5 cities across the west coast of Saudi Arabia. We have more than 100,000 students on those campuses.
That's huge.
It is huge, with more than 8,000 faculty members and staff. We are working to automate all our processes with a big partnership actually with Oracle on this stuff. We have done so much, and we're going with dramatic change actually in 2019 in this time.
Fantastic. And I think you're driving towards being a paperless institution, a bit like Dubai wants to be a paperless government. You want to be a paperless institution, is that right?
It is actually. We are planning to be paperless institution by next year, by 2020. That means all operations and processes can be done throughout e-services, either through portal or mobile apps, from anywhere without the need to visit any office in the university. Students or faculties only need to attend their lectures on campus.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Let's continue with you for a second, Dr. Atif, because you are one of our early adopters of autonomous data warehouse that we were just talking about. Do you want to tell us a bit about how you're using it at the university and what problem you were trying to solve?
Certainly. For any big institution, data is a major factor. This is the age of data. We are talking about, as the keynote was saying, Dr. Rahman was saying that in 2019 they're expecting more data than the previous 5,000 years. That means for the top management to make decisions, they mean accurate, instant data. As a university, we have several sources of data. We are using Autonomous to create a single source of truth, which we will base our BI system, analytics, KPIs, and reporting system, and decision support system on. We will data sync or upload all our data, measure data on Autonomous, and use its capability to create the analytics for the top management. Fantastic. And actually, when speaking of top management, I'm not talking about a handful of people in their office. We have the rector, the vice rectors, but as a university, we have also colleges. Right. We have deans, we have vice deans, we have head of departments, we have the administrative departments. So we are roughly talking about 300 to 400 people.
Yeah, wow.
They need customized reports and
reports
dashboards.
Right now, I can imagine.
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for that. Sebastian, can you tell us a bit more about AW Rostamani in terms of sort of the business outcomes you're trying to drive there? I mean, you've been there for some time now. You've been working with Oracle Solutions for a while, so you've obviously been on a very interesting journey yourself now to the cloud. So what are you trying to drive for your business, and how are you working with us to do that?
Yes, sure. Like you mentioned, I've been there for quite some time. I'm almost completing 18 years with the group, and probably 10 years as a CIO for the group. And the group has been here also around 50 years plus, and our major portfolio is automotive, so we sell Nissan, Infiniti, Renault, our major portfolios in the region. And we started our ERP journey with an automotive vertical on top of Oracle EBS way back in 2006. Then we later on moved to business intelligence adoption, and then enterprise performance management, Hyperion suite, and then when Oracle launched the software as a service solution in the region, we were one of the first to move to talent management cloud and Taleo.
Yeah.
And then later on getting into PaaS and all of those adoptions, right? So I've seen our group tremendously improving its revenue and footprint. And one of the core pillars for our growth has been the technological excellence. And mainly because of that, we use balanced scorecard as a mechanism for rolling out our strategy and executing our strategy and communicating strategy to all levels of the organization. Generally, any balanced scorecard has 4 different perspectives: financial, customer, internal process, and learning and growth. This year, our group has decided that new technology to be added as one of the new perspective.
Right.
This shows that the board and the CEO's commitment to put technology at the heart of the business strategy and make sure that the next wave of change we capture through investing in the right technology and making sure that we focus more on business enablement through technology.
Okay.
So we have been enjoying the partnership with Oracle, and currently we are working on something to actually really transform our IT organization from, we currently are the mix of people. If I look at 55% of our resources work on business enablement, and 45% of my resources actually work with servers to make the servers work.
Right,
so,
right. So you're losing that time
yeah,
you could
that
be
time,
spending on innovation.
like
yeah.
in the previous keynote,
Yes.
they have discussed. So one of our ambition is to actually go serverless by 2021, run a serverless data center.
Serverless by 2021. There's a challenge
Yeah,
for everyone in the
and
audience.
now database is becoming autonomous, cars are becoming driverless, probably the IT departments, it is time for be serverless so that you can actually put most of your workforce in this challenging time to work hand in hand with the business and make sure that they are there to enable and help those business units to actually weather this change.
Right.
So this is one of our strong strategies. So we are also working with Oracle on this journey. We have been waiting for the Abu Dhabi data center, and I think that the
Great.
infrastructure solutions are going to come little later.
Fantastic.
So this is our next roadmap ahead. Yeah.
Great. You have a lot of good things ahead. I know. We'll talk a little bit
Sure.
more about that in a second.
Yeah.
So, Umair, tell us a bit more. As a CFO, running a startup, operating in so many different countries with so many projects,
Yes.
you kindly joined the Oracle family. You're using our ERP cloud offering. Can you
Yes.
tell us a bit about why that worked for you and the kind of business challenges you had? Because they're quite particular, aren't they? You're very fast-growing and agile,
Yes.
so love to hear more about that.
As you know that we were a startup, and when you're a startup in the start, it's not very sensible to invest a lot into these things. But we knew that we were a startup, but we knew where we were going, what our challenges will be,
Right.
and who our stakeholders will be, and what their requirements will be. So we needed something which was scalable,
Right.
powerful, and which has a reputation, and which fits well with the company, with the strategy.
Right.
So I think Oracle we did some consultations. We met with the consultants, and we compared other solutions as well. And we did not want any servers on the premises because we did not want to maintain a very big IT team
Right,
at the
'cause
same
you're quite
time.
small, aren't you? You've got like
Yes.
15 people, I think,
Yes.
something like that? in the
No,
company?
it's
A
not
bit more
15
now?
people, but it's close to 50 because we have teams in other countries as well.
Okay.
And Oracle is something which is not only on premises but on cloud and allows remote access as well.
Yeah.
So considering everything that we are a startup, but it's not a very simple industry, power industry.
Right.
And you have all sorts of
distributed, very
it's
distributed.
distributed, and you have all sorts of stakeholders all around. And all of them are very different when it comes to their requirements.
Right.
You have governments, you have utility companies, you have international lenders, and they have all sorts of requirements you can think of.
What was a particularly difficult requirement that you had to meet when you were looking at trying to make a choice? What was one of those stakeholders? What was one of the things they were asking you for that you were then able to deliver?
I mean, honestly, I think the cloud-based solution was the main factor, which in my consideration was top of the list.
Right.
I mean, because there are things which other providers also provide, but the total package, the cloud, the flexibility, the scalability,
Right.
the way you work with Oracle, and the support that you get with Oracle, I think the total package was just great.
Oh, fantastic. I'm very glad to hear it. I know if you're operating in multiple countries as well with multiple currencies, that's quite a challenge, isn't it?
That's true, because we
Fantastic.
have different legislations, different regulations. We have to consider everything, basically.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes even we are not sure what's going to come ahead.
Yeah.
So we have to prepare for everything.
Fantastic. Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that went well. Dr. Atif, what about new things? So you've been doing a lot with analytics at the university and providing those reports. You're also trying to revolutionize student services, aren't you, in terms of signing up for courses, learning about your grades. Are there new technologies you're looking at there, or how are you trying to innovate in that area?
Yes, we are trying to adopt new technologies, new ideas to enhance the life on campus, also the experience of the students. So for example, we are planning in the near future to start using artificial intelligence for scheduling. We are trying to get our faculty members and students as as much satisfied as we can with their time scheduling.
Right.
We're trying to adopt other things to enhance their life on campus, like, for example, using augmented reality for campus tours or indoor guidance. Usually in campus, you get acquainted with one or two buildings, then you get a lecture the other edge of the campus, or even in another campus that you have no idea where to go.
Right.
So things like augmented reality will make will make it really easy for students or even for visitors
Yeah.
to go to venues where events are held.
That's a great idea.
We are trying to use also IoT in campus. And instead of the lecturer or instructor to take the attendance of the students manually, they can be registered immediately as they walk through the door.
Right.
We are trying to use it to enhance the use of buildings, to save energy in building. So we are planning big things with those technologies.
Fantastic. It's kind of like Andrew and Steve were talking about. Part of the problem is not just the technology that you have available, but also rethinking your business model. And actually, Sebastian, you and I were having a really interesting conversation about, are you in the car industry anymore? What are the conversations you're having at the board there at AWS Osmani on this topic?
Yeah. So one of the biggest thing happening now is because of all the connected life, we have been in the automotive industry up till now, and the future of our industry, the name itself is changing to mobility industry. So what does that mean? The customers, they don't need a car as a product. Before, IT service providers used to sell boxes, servers, and software tools, right? Similarly, we used to sell cars. In the future, what our consumers will require is, mobility as a service. When we talk about that, currently, if a consumer is actually buying a car and he's using it for all his purposes, like going for shopping, going for his work, maybe a leisure trip, everything he uses one physical key and with one car. But in future, we believe that this behavior is going to change, and probably there will be an app, a digital key, which will give you access to a package of cars. So you'll be able to subscribe to different configurations of your cars, and you will be able to use those cars for the respective trips which you want to make. Maybe on a day-to-day for the business, you will use a sedan, and maybe if you want to go to desert or during the weekends with the family, you may use a Nissan Petrol. I love Nissan Petrol, so I sell Nissan, so I have to brand it. Sorry for that. And then maybe if you have your extended family members joining you, you need a family car, a bigger car, right? So how can we give this kind of a consumer experience? With the IoT, with blockchain kind of technologies, actually we can bring in this kind of a platform, and we can comply with the regulation and also with the consumer choices. So this is the way we see our future. So in order to do that, we will have to do a lot of technical write-offs. The way IT is being designed in the past, the ERP era is ending. So we have started a new era for us, which is called post-modern era, ERP era, where we are decoupling the functionalities from the blotted on ERP and putting different type of cloud solutions around it, so that different functions can have different functional innovation cycles. So marketing department probably change every year, sales may change every 2 years, HR may change every 3 years, and financial systems may change every 5 to 7 years. So how can we give this rate of scale of change for different functions in one single system? This is why probably we'll have to move into multiple cloud solutions. In that case, integration also becomes a key challenge.
Yeah.
So that's why integration cloud solution kind of products can offer better services. Then getting into connected life, so bringing IoT, and also to make sure that immutability for your transactions, blockchain. So this is the way we are trying to see our future, and this is going to affect our retail business for customer experience, automotive product, from product to service transformation, and also for real estate business for facility maintenance. IoT will be a significant role.
Right, I'm sure there's quite a lot there in terms of asset monitoring and sort of intelligent business management, things of that nature. Yeah, it's very tricky because we're trying to reinvent our business models while trying to reinvent our teams, I think. I don't know, Amir, what do you see sort of from an innovation perspective? What are you looking at next? You're covering a huge geography, moving fast. What's sort of on your mind next?
I mean, in the power sector, I would say that there are a lot of new technologies that we are currently looking at, and you can say that Internet of Things, we have cryptocurrencies now in the
Right,
power
of course.
sector. We have storage is the new big thing, which everyone seems to be working on
Right.
because it's
You
going
mean
to
power
change
storage, of
power
course. Yeah,
storage, yes, and it's going to change everything basically. And it will help us provide electricity to the remotest areas
Right.
and cost effectively. And blockchain technology, of course, we cannot ignore
Right.
that. So yeah, there are
Micropayments maybe with
yes,
blockchain.
micropayments
Yeah, yeah.
and more secure. So yes, there are a lot of new technologies that we are looking at, and they will change the way we do business. So it's a continuous cycle.
Right.
I would
It's
say.
really interesting, I think, in emerging economies, you know,
Yes.
things like blockchain, like cryptocurrencies.
Yes.
You know, there was some early work done in Bangladesh on mobile phones with a
That's
standard
true.
SMS for,
Yes.
for payments. So I bet
Yes.
that'll be a big part of
True.
funding some
Yes.
of these power initiatives.
Yes. And crowdfunding. I mean, there are endless possibilities now.
Yeah, it's fantastic work that you're doing there. Gentlemen, one of the topics we were talking about earlier, which I think is really interesting and is something we're all facing on a day-to-day basis, is how we get our teams ready and skills. And Sebastian was saying, for example, we were having a chat earlier, and he was saying that he's been 25 years in the industry, but really it's kind of like only 5 years of experience because everything changes so fast. So we're all, you know, defunct before we even get there. And trying to get our teams ready. And I know, Atif, you've got a lot of, you know, very smart people at the university. You're trying to use them in some of your projects. Do you both want to talk a bit about the talent challenge and skills now we're trying to move to the cloud?
Yes. As for the teams that are already working on the IT, you need to keep them relatives, keep them in touch with the market, with the new technology, to go out and attend events like this to see what's going on in the world, to go to training, get some training on the new techniques. But it's also, as a university, we need to focus also on our students. We need to teach them things like
Right.
this. We need to work to renew our curriculums every few years. As a computer college, it's difficult to keep up. We need to completely renew our curriculum every 5 years, for example, because as Sebastian was saying, the world is changing. It's 5-year experience, whatever before that was written off.
Right.
So we need to change them to keep students interesting in new technologies. I have students who are currently developing, for example, virtual reality games. They're doing something like an escape room game with virtual reality.
Yeah. This is
where
a group of your female students. Is
they
that
are
right?
a group of female students, exactly. They're developing a game where a little girl loses her brother and she tries to find him. She finds herself in an office. She finds clues to him in this office. Then she transported in time
Amazing.
to a different location. And it's all in virtual reality,
Incredible.
a new trend in technology.
Yeah.
So it is very important to keep young talent, young students interested in those technology because they are the people, they will lead the change
Yeah.
in the near future.
And you made a really interesting point, I thought, and it couldn't be more stark in the university world, this kind of change of role, where it used to be the professor knew everything and the student was learning. But what you're finding, of course, is that's sort of reversing, and I think there's some of that in our own businesses as well.
It is actually changing. For example, for this group of students, of girls, I've never worked virtual reality before. It's their decision to go with it.
Yeah.
It's their project. I'm only overseeing the whole process. I still don't know how they develop it.
Yeah.
So they are coming actually with new ideas. They ask me how I think about it. But it is, as you exactly say, the rule has changed. It's not that I only stand up on a podium and give them a lecture and give them some information.
Right.
It's an active learning. I need to give them also only what they should learn
Yeah,
and then guide them towards the direction.
absolutely. And I think, Sebastian, for
I
you
think,
as a CIO, this is huge, right?
The most important thing, which always I would like to talk to my peers and colleagues and friends here is that, you know, we have to keep a continuous next mindset, you know, because most important thing is that having the right mindset and practices to create the right results. So most important thing is that we should be able to do that right off in our life. What we have been doing for decades have become completely irrelevant. The terrain has completely changed. And now we can rely on our mega vendors as partners. Probably they can put better security and data centers for you. So your assistance is required with the business because the business is the one which is on a daily basis getting reinvented. So if we are stuck with our own technologies and systems and principles, I don't think it is going to help anyone, and we will not be able to actually help our the business in the right manner. So the ability to learn and unlearn and to do the write-off so that you can learn further and help your business. That's all my message.
Wonderful. Well, unfortunately, we're almost out of time, so I'm just going to ask our wonderful panel one more question. I'd love for you to share, as a CFO, a CIO, and a Vice Dean of IT, I'd love for you to share your lessons or advice for the audience, many of whom are watching also on the trade show floor. How can companies make this move to the cloud? What would you advise them? What are the challenges you've overcome? What piece of advice would you like to give them?
I mean, the advice that I can give is take risk, invest in your people, create leaders, invest in technology, and what we are trying to achieve, and what I think Oracle is providing as well, what is affordable should be sustainable, and what is sustainable should be affordable.
That's great. That's a great one. I'm going to write that down later. Fantastic. Sebastian.
From my side, it's okay to fail fast to succeed faster. It's not, you cannot run a waterfall predictable projects anymore. You have to more think agile. So you have to accommodate failures in your strategy, and you have to communicate the same to the board as well. In the past, we have been on precision, 99% accurate projects we have been running. Now everything is an experimental and explorative model. So practice more agile, ready to be, ready to accept failures so that you can learn from failures and succeed faster.
That's a huge one. Fantastic. Thank you, Sebastian. Dr. Atif, last word to you. Any advice to the audience? You're sort of leading a massive transformation at the university.
Yes, actually, my advice is that change is always scary, but don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Take chances with the new technology. It is always rewarding. No one wants to fall behind and catch up with new technology after it's big, because there will be already a new thing on market.
Yeah.
So embrace new technologies, embrace new ideas. You will be rewarded for it.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. Please join me in thanking my wonderful panel. Thank you.